Lucian Thorne stood 6'3", a broad-shouldered titan of a man and the most eligible bachelor from Cheyenne to Cedar Ridge. The world, in his opinion, was full of elegant, sweet-faced women who blushed at his glance, which was why his parents' suggestion felt like a deliberate insult. "Mailen Dross?" he had scoffed. "You cannot be serious? She's, what, 40? And plain as a post. I'd be a laughingstock." His father, Elias, fixed him with a steady gaze. "She's 38, practical, kind, a steadying influence." "I don't need a schoolmarm," Lucian shot back, his pride a hot knot in his chest. "I need a wife who can stand beside me. This matter is closed." He stormed out. He was Lucian Thorne, whole, strong, and virile. The idea of being tied to someone so ordinary was a humiliation he would not abide. What Lucian didn't know was a simple truth. A young buck may charge the tallest pine, but the old-timer on the porch has already seen how the story ends. Chapter 1. The Breaking Heem. The thunder began in the earth. 300 longhorn cattle, spooked by a mountain lion's scream in the deep September dark of Devil's Canyon, became a single, panicked organism of muscle and terror. Lucian was checking the north fence line. One moment there was calm, the next, chaos. His horse, Titan, reared. A hidden prairie dog hole swallowed its leg with a sickening crack. Lucian was thrown into the path of the maelstrom. Pain, white-hot and absolute, exploded through his leg, his ribs, his shoulder. Then, darkness. They found him at dawn. His foreman, grizzled Silas McCoy, took one look at the angle of Lucian's leg and knew. Nearest doctors in Cheyenne, 2 days hard ride. He won't make it. "What about that healer woman?" suggested young ranch hand Ben Carter. "Mailen Dross, in Cedar Ridge. I heard she's got magic hands." "She's a nurse, not a surgeon," Silas argued. "She's 8 miles away, not 80. Ben retorted. "You want to tell his parents he died while we debated credentials?" The logic was brutal and irrefutable. They loaded Lucian onto a makeshift stretcher and rode for Cedar Ridge as if the devil himself were on their heels. At the town's outskirts stood a converted trapper's cabin, a shingle reading M. Dross, nursing in care beside the door. At 38, Mailen Dross had never married. The gossips whispered she was too particular, too plain. But when death knocked, nobody whispered about Mailen Dross. They prayed she'd answer. Chapter 2. The Sanctuary. 2 days later, Elias and Eleanor Thorne reached the clinic, hearts hammering with dread. They expected a frontier hovel. They stopped dead at the threshold. The clinic was a sanctuary of spotless order. White muslin curtains fluttered at clean windows. The wooden floors gleamed, smelling of lemon and carbolic soap. Underlying it was a warm, homey scent, fresh-baked bread. But it was their son who stole their breath. Lucian lay propped against crisp, white pillows. His face was clean-shaven, his hair combed, his broken leg was splinted with professional precision, the bandages blindingly white. On a polished bedside table sat a bowl of steaming broth. Standing beside him was the plainest woman Eleanor had ever seen, and yet the most remarkable. Mailen Dross stood a foot shorter than Lucian, her figure hidden beneath a severe, spotless gray dress and apron. Her mousy brown hair was in a tight bun, but her eyes were a calm, intelligent brown, holding a depth of quiet certainty. "Your son's leg was a compound fracture. The bones are set clean," she said, her voice low and steady. "He will walk again, though he will carry a limp." Elias stared, his throat tight. "Miss Dross, how can we ever repay you?" Mailen dabbed her nose with a small white napkin. "A nervous habit. The fee is $5 for the bone setting, 3 for boarding, 50 cents for meals and medicine." She glanced at Lucian, her expression softening. "But your son, he's been cooperative." Eleanor watched her gentle efficiency, a wild idea blooming. "Miss Dross," she began carefully, "would you consider continuing his care at our ranch, as a live-in nurse?" Elias nodded. Here was a woman who could heal their son and bring order to his chaotic life. A faint blush touched Mailen's cheeks. "I suppose, for the right compensation." $20 a month, room and board, Elias said quickly. "We can discuss more permanent arrangements later." When they broached the subject with Lucian, his reaction was volcanic. "Marry her?" he choked. "Have you lost your minds? She's older than the hills. I need a wife who will turn heads. Not some dried-up spinster who smells of medicine. Any girl except one who'd care for you like she has," Eleanor said quietly. "Gratitude isn't love." Lucian snapped. The humiliation burned. Lucian Thorne, being bartered off to a woman so common. Yet the next morning, as Mailen prepared to accompany them, Lucian felt an unwelcome flutter in his chest. He buried it deep under layers of pride. He had no way of knowing the most potent medicines often come in the plainest bottles. CTA, have you ever misjudged someone based on a first impression? Share your story in the comments below. Chapter 3: The Transformation. The Thorne Ranch house was a story of masculine neglect. Dust lay over every surface, dirty plates filled the sink. The air was thick with stale tobacco and loneliness. Mailen stepped inside and saw a battlefield. "Well," she murmured, dabbing her nose with a napkin. "This won't do." She established Lucian in the main bedroom. Within an hour, she had stripped the bed, the linens boiling on the stove. She flung open every window, letting the prairie wind scour away the stagnation. "What are you doing?" Lucian demanded as she attacked a dresser with a dust rag. "Cleaning," she replied, not pausing. "Dirt breeds infection. I won't have my patient felled by a dust mite." "I'm not asking you to clean my house." "No," she agreed. "You're not asking. I'm doing it anyway." Over the following days, Mailen descended like a benevolent whirlwind. She scrubbed floors on her hands and knees. She washed windows, beat rugs, and organized the chaotic kitchen with military precision. The ranch hands watched in awe. Ben Carter dubbed her the little locomotive. But it was more than cleaning. She mended his shirts with invisible stitches. She oiled his leather, polished his boots. Lucian watched from his bed, a prisoner in his suddenly unfamiliar home. It was orderly, clean, and smelled of soap. It felt respectable, and he resented it. "You don't have to do all this," he grumbled. "No," she agreed. "I choose to." "Why?" She stopped and looked at him, her calm eyes seeing through his bluster. "Because a man of your standing deserves to live with pride, not like a boar in its wallow." Her words shamed him. That shame curdled into resentment. "I suppose you think this makes you indispensable. I think it makes me useful. There's a difference. My future wife won't need to scrub floors." "Your future wife," Mailen replied quietly, "will be fortunate to have floors worth scrubbing." The exchange left him feeling petty. He watched her, this quiet, unstoppable force. She never asked for thanks. She simply did. It was during his second week that she offered her first piece of unsolicited advice. He'd been grumbling about the cost of constantly repairing his plow. "Better to buy one strong plow than mend 3 cracked ones," she said, wrapping his bandage. "Spend once, not thrice." Lucian bristled. "I didn't ask for your opinion." "No," she agreed. "You received it nonetheless, free of charge." Her logic was infuriatingly sound. How had she seen what he, the rancher, had missed? As his house transformed into a home, a disturbing realization dawned. Mailen wasn't trying to impress him. She was simply being herself, capable, thorough, and without artifice. And despite every defense, he found himself anticipating her footsteps, her calm presence. The suspicion that his parents might have been right was the most humiliating